Hey Ralph, this is Steven. I spoke to you earlier today. In this video, I'm going to show you three things that you can start doing today that will actually start pushing you ahead of your competition there in the Raleigh area, and start getting more high quality jobs. Now, if by the end of this video you do see that I do have the know-how to get you these jobs and get this done, you can reach back out, we can chat, or if you want, you can just take this information and implement it yourself. But I'm going to go ahead and jump right into this. Three things I'm going to be going over are content, citations, and backlinks. Now, content is pretty much everything on your homepage, really your entire website, but we're going to be focusing on your homepage primarily. Now, Google likes to see at least 1,500 words of content on homepages of these service-based industries such as yours. It gives you plenty of opportunity to add in all the buyer intent keywords and keyword phrases that people are searching for when they're searching for your services. Now, what I did first here is I pulled up one of your main competitors here in the Raleigh area, and this is Royal Electric, and I threw them into a tool that I subscribe to called Ahrefs. Now, this tool pretty much gives me a behind-the-scenes view of what Google uses to rank websites. So, rduelectricians.com is currently being found for 42 keywords, and their website was clicked on 188 times just in the past 30 days. So I went ahead and threw your website into the same tool here. You're currently not being found for any keywords, therefore you're not being clicked on at all, right? So let's go back to our competitor, and we can actually click on this number 42 here, and this will bring up all 42 of the keywords that they're currently being found for. Now, the ones we really want to keep an eye on and pay attention to are these keywords with the locations tied to them, okay? And we're looking at Raleigh right now. Raleigh has got the most search volume in the triangle, so that's why I'm using Raleigh. But as you can see, electrician Raleigh NC, that term alone was searched right around 300 times just in the past 30 days. And their website was clicked on 37 times out of those searches. So you definitely want to get in on that. You want to go down this entire list. And you can use this video and pause it if you want. But that's why it's important to have at least 1,500 words, because like I said, it gives you a lot of opportunity to fit these keywords in without it looking crazy, right? Because if you don't have a lot of content, it's actually called keyword stuffing, and Google will penalize you for that. Okay, so that's it for content. Next thing I want to go over are what we call citations. Now, when people are searching these terms like electrician Raleigh NC, studies have shown that right around 45% of those people are going to be clicking on one of these three businesses here. This section here is called the map pack, and this is your Google business profile. Now, most people are under the impression that it's reviews that are the main driver here to get you ranked into this top three, and that's not necessarily the case. It is a factor, or as there's other factors too, but the main driver here are what we call citations. Now, a citation is your business's name, address, and phone number on a directory online. Now, it used to be it was like the businesses that had the most citations were the ones that consistently got ranked in the top three, as long as their reviews weren't like total garbage, right? But that's not the case in 2025. Google doesn't really care about the number of citations anymore. They care more about the source of those citations. So these days, there's these they call them there's three major aggregators, and these aggregators are Data Axle, Newstar Localese, and 4Star, right? It's very important to get into these. Um, you can think of this as like a river, right? And these are the master databases that feed that entire ecosystem of that river. They're the ones that tell like the GPSs in your vehicles, the maps on your phones, and the voice searches that your business actually exists, right? And once you're in these and verified in these three aggregators, they push your data downstream to like hundreds of smaller apps, navigation systems, and directories automatically, right? And then once you have that going, you'd want to actually manually build in what we call the core consumer directories. And these are the directories that actual humans will look at, and the ones that Google trusts the most to verify your reputation. There's right around like 40 or 50 of these that they call them authority sites, and that you want to be in. That include some examples would be Apple Maps, Bing Places, Yelp, the Better Business Bureau. Some socials would be Facebook Business, Nextdoor, and then you have some niche sites like Angie and Thumbtack, right? You can actually do an AI search on this for core consumer citations, and it'll actually pull you up a list, right? This is also good for AI searches, right? AI tools like ChatGPT and Google Gemini look to these for data consistency. So if your data matches perfectly across these big three aggregators in those core 45 to 50 sites, AI trusts you and they will actually recommend you, right? So that's it for maps. Now, underneath the maps is Google. There's people also ask, right? But underneath that, this is Google's organic search results list. And the number one spot here captures right around 40% of all clicks. So the map pack captures 45% of all clicks, but you're splitting that in between these three businesses. This is 40% all by itself. The main driver here are what we call backlinks. Now, backlinks is essentially it's when you have other websites out on the internet that have a link on one of their pages that when it's clicked, it leads back to your website. Now, Google uses these backlinks as like an online referral system. And the more relevant and the more traffic these websites get, the more trust they have built with Google, the better for you. So, for example, say you have a local blog page or a popular industry related site that's linking back to you, it's those types of backlinks that are actually going to help push you up in Google's rankings. But say since you guys are an electrical company, say you have a backlink from Pizza Hut, right? Very popular website, gets a lot of traffic, but that's not going to do you guys any good in ranking purposes because there's no relevance there, right? You don't sell pizza, you don't have anything to do with pizza, and in a lot of cases, you have too many links from these non-relevant sites. It actually will hurt you. Google will start penalizing and put you and pushing your website down in the rankings. Okay, so let's go back to our competitor here, and we're going to look at this page again, this tool. Now I want to pay attention to this backlink profile section. So to be clear, it's through your content, primarily your keywords, that Google is able to find you for these terms that people are searching for. But once they find you, they got to determine where they're going to place your website on that listing, right? And that has to do with the quality and the relevance of your backlinks. So our competitor currently has 111 backlinks coming from a total of 64 other websites. They call them referring domains in this tool. Let's take a look at yours. You have 6 backlinks coming from 6 other websites. So it's not necessarily about the number, it's about the relevance, right? And the relevance and the quality of these backlinks. So let's go back to our competitor, and what we want to look at is we want to look at the websites they're getting their backlinks from, because that's what matters. So we can actually click on that 64. That's going to bring up all 64 websites they're currently getting backlinks from. So your best bet is to go down a list like this and grab backlinks from all of these websites down the entire list. After you do that, and this is dependent on your content and your keywords, as long as your website is optimized properly, that would actually end up putting you in contention for the number one spot. Now, what would put you over the top is if you did that same thing with the top 3 to 5 websites on this list. It would take some time, but you would end up taking over that number one spot. Okay. So just to recap, the first thing is going to be content. You want at least 1,500 words on your homepage with the right keywords and the right amount of a lot of those keywords. Second are citations, right? You want to be in those top 3 data aggregators that will feed all those other directories and everything downstream, those navigation systems and smaller apps. And then you want to get into those core consumer directories as well, right? Then you'll be in contention for the top 3 here, depending on your proximity to Raleigh or whatever location you are trying to rank for. And then it's backlinks, meaning you need more relevant websites linking back to your site to show Google that you guys are the authority when it comes to electrical companies in and around the Raleigh area. Now, if you guys were to do this, you would eventually become number one. Now, like I said at the beginning of the video, you can take this information and implement it yourself, and that's fine. Or if you'd rather just book a discovery call with me, again, my name's Steven. I live right here in North Carolina. You can just respond to this email, or you can give me a call at 910-551-2006. But other than that, Ralph, I hope this was educational and it did give you some tips that you can implement yourself if you want. Other than that, I thank you for letting me send this to you, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Take care. Bye.